Buongiorno! This morning I am in the Monti neighborhood, in the Rione Monti, and I'm going to take you to see some of the most beautiful mosaics of the city. Are you ready? You need to know that Rione Monti is one of those neighborhoods, very distinctive neighborhood of Rome. It's a place where it's really worth getting lost into the narrow streets. A lot of pretty spots, photogenic spots, you will love it. So what we're gonna go today is here. What we're gonna see today is one of the most ancient churches in Rome, the Basilica of Santa Prassede. This is the ancient entrance. Doesn't look like a church entrance, does it? But this is no longer in use. We're gonna go into this narrow street here and use the side entrance. The ancient entrance, and you turn to this narrow street and you have this beautiful view with St. Mary Major at the end of the street. And here we are. St. Mary Major is over there, and this is the entrance where we're gonna go in, the Basilica of Santa Prassede. Let's go. Actually, before we go in, let me give you a very short version of the story of this church, because this church goes as far back as ancient Rome. It all starts with the legend of Prassede and her family, which apparently they were converted by none other than St. Peter in person. Also, according to the legend, Prassede and her sister Pudenziana were hiding Christians which were persecuted in their house. Eventually, the Romans found those Christians and then killed them. So what Prassede and Pudenziana did was to take care of their bodies and give them an honorable burial. But the two sisters also did something else that eventually with time became their distinctive sign. So they cleaned the martyr's blood away with sponges, then they wringed out the sponges and they poured the martyr's blood into a well. And this well is inside this church, the Basilica of Santa Prassede. And here we are, light is on to the mosaics. So this is the apse, and here we have these beautiful, bright, colorful mosaics. We have Jesus Christ in the middle. Then we have these two men dressed in white. Those are St. Peter and St. Paul. And on their sides we have two women, Prassede and Pudenziana. And then on the sides we have this guy here, which is supposed to be Zeno, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. And this is Pascal, the Pope Pascal I, which had the church built. That's why he had this little church in his hand, and he has a square nimbus around his head because he was still alive at the time where this church was built. Look at the colors, they are beautiful. Can you believe this is mosaic and it's not painted? It's mosaic, it's little pieces of glass and color. It's super beautiful. The first time I came here, my jaw literally dropped. Behind the altar, you see that's Prassede that is squeezing the sponge with blood, pouring the blood into the well. There's candles in the middle, so you cannot really see. When you see this kind of mosaics in churches of Rome, this is a medieval church. This is typical of the Middle Ages to decorate the apse this way, as well as the floors. So look at these cosmati floors, so beautiful. This is restored because as you can see, it's in very well conditions. And when you look at the apse and you're in the central nave, you see this reddish porphyry circle. This is the very place where the well of Prassede was located. This is where she was pouring the blood of the martyrs through the sponges. And now I'm going to show you the real jewel of this church. So this is the central nave. If you go to the lateral nave, we have this place here, which is the Chapel of Sanzino. So this chapel was built by Pasquale I, the Pope, in honor of her mother, Theodora. But it's called the Travel of Sanzino because he brought also the relics of Saint Zeno. Let's go and have a look. So we put a coin inside, and the light is gonna turn on. So put the coin in, so we have light for 5 minutes. We have Jesus, the 12 apostles, they're outside, some saints, the Virgin Mary, and we go inside, and here it is. How amazing is this? Each drawing here, each wall has a meaning. So here we have Peter and Paul pointing at this throne. This is the throne where Christ is gonna sit after coming back from the last judgment. Here we have Santa Prassede, Pudenziana, the sisters, and Saint Agnes bringing the gifts to God. When they usually bring gifts to God, they don't touch it straight with their hands. They use kind of fabric because it's a sacred object. And this is the altar where the relics of Sanzino are. In here, we have this beautiful mosaics of baby Jesus, Mary. Here we have Mary and Saint John. And inside the chapel, on the side, you have this relic. This is the most important relic. This is a fragment of the column where Jesus was whipped, was flagellated. So now I'm back in the central nave, and I want to go below the altar because there is a crypt, and this is where the relics of Santa Prassede and Pudenziana are kept. So these were, according to the description, the sarcophagus that contained the bodies of Santa Prassede and Pudenziana, the two sisters. We are below the altar now.